The air intake system on the L400 V6 draws cold air in from behind this fender well and through this pipe into an air box here. There's an air filter underneath of here, of course, and then it goes through the mass airflow sensor and on into the throttle body. The trickiest part of this is this vent line between the fender well and this air intake body right here. This may have gone missing over the years because the car will run fine without it, except now it's going to be breathing hot air from inside the engine bay and not cool air from under the fender. So keep this in mind, and it's quite tricky to get this into the correct place so it seals against the fender well and is seated into this plastic body right here. Keep an eye on that. Also, when you change your air filter, it's easy to miss the clip on the back right here. And we don't want to allow any dirty air into the engine. Everything has to go through the air filter. As we move on into the mass airflow sensor, if the mass airflow sensor on your Delica is severely compromised, you may find that it actually runs better without the mass airflow sensor plugged in. For example, if this mass airflow sensor is giving very, very bad values, the computer may be trusting it. Whereas if you unplug it, then the ECU will still run the engine without it. It'll just throw a code and it will fall back to some other default behavior. So that would be a clue that your mass airflow sensor is very, very bad. Inside this particular mass airflow sensor, so the 050 series, we have several different sensors. We have, of course, the mass airflow sensor that hangs in the airflow. We have an intake air temperature sensor. We have a barometer, an air pressure sensor as well. Keep in mind, if you're spraying something like carb cleaner into the engine, that a lot of these cleaners, like carburetor cleaner and brake cleaner, don't use brake cleaner, a lot of these are not electronics safe, which basically means they can dissolve plastic. The mass airflow sensor cleaner is an electronics cleaner, so it's electronics based, it's alcohol based, and I've never seen a contaminated mass airflow sensor which benefited from this cleaning procedure. But it is something that that can happen. Just be wary of spraying strange chemicals through this because these are not cheap. As we move on into the throttle body, which we'll cover in a later video, there's a hose that plugs into the back of this, and this is used to provide air through this valve cover just around in the back for our positive crankcase ventilation system. It's easy as you're removing this to unplug this hose and not even realize it's there. And then when you put all this back in, the hose just gets forgotten. And this can cause trouble in plenty of different ways. So just check that the hose is plugged in back here, and then check that the far side of that hose is plugged down into the valve cover.